Hey guys, wanted to come back and do a video. It's been a little while. I coach sports, and I think I've said it in some of my videos outside of some other times here. And been a busy fall, so I think last time I've been able to get any videos up is probably early September, Labor Day time, something like that. So I apologize. Just been a little crazy around Woodshed Brewing. So one of the things I've been wanting to do, and I've actually taken some video over probably the last 2 months or so, is talk a little bit about my system. I know it's kind of in this form or fashion, a little upside down right now, but just kind of how I keep it while it's drying or while it's basically in storage. So I've had some people over the course of probably the last 6 months or so ask questions about, why do I design it or how did I design it, that type of thing. So the basic concept that I've done is used items I already had. So I already had this kettle, bought some things secondhand. I kind of put things together with a concept. And really what it is the two concepts I've used is the claw hammer design and the Brew Easy by Blickman. So the stackable is the Brew Easy, and then inside you have a screen and a sprayer over the top, so it circulates over the top. So that's the claw hammer design. So I've kind of taken the two designs and melded them together for what I have. So what I thought I would do is, based off of some of the comments I've had from some folks on here, is kind of go through my parts and pieces and kind of show you what I have. And it might be something that you can use, and maybe you have some of the items. I'm a big proponent of using items that I have already in-house. So if you're in this hobby at all, you start with one piece and you progressively move through, or maybe you have multiple systems or multiple rigs now. If I can try to reuse those things in some form or fashion, I try to do that. And any of the items that I can do multiple items with or multiple processes with, I'd like to try to do that. So it's space saving, it's money or cost cutting. It's just makes sense to be able to use items in multiple ways if I can do it. So this is my woodshed. So I use it for multiple purposes, just kind of my brewing area over here. So if I can do something to save on space and help out with that, I'm all for it. And if I can save some money as well as I'm going through. So kind of the concepts I've used. So I'll just kind of take you through the parts and pieces I have here, where I've gotten them. If I can find links for them, I'll throw that in the comments for you guys, or at least tell you where I found them and give you some ideas of how did I go about searching those items out. A lot of things are going to be secondhand, things that I found either on Marketplace, brew tubers, guys that are in the club that are looking to get rid of a piece or no longer need it, Craigslist, that type of stuff. Really, I don't know, other than probably the pump and the cam locks and the hosing. I don't know that there really is anything brand new on this. Really kind of all things, I guess the screen inside that I just showed you was brand new. But beyond that, a lot of the stuff are things that are secondhand. So I feel like I've really gotten this to the way I want. I can brew as small as just using this portion of the system down to 2.5 gallons. And if I want to put the whole thing together, this is a 10-gallon kettle and this is a 15-gallon kettle, I can go up to a double batch. So I can make probably, I would guess around in that range of about 12 or 13 gallons if I wanted to. So typically, you're in the 5-gallon batch, you're looking for 5.5, 6 gallons in your fermenter, something like that. So I can go all the way up to a double batch. My last brew was a Philly Sour collab with Gary, Matt, and Dave, all guys in the Brew Tubers Club. And I ended up making a double batch of that because I was really excited about it and I wanted to fruit it 2 different ways. So I ended up doing that, and those have turned out great. So it's one of the nice things about adding some flexibility to this. I can kind of go as large or small as I want to. Some of the systems you see out there, they really have a minimum of what you can do. A lot of the all-in-ones, you can only go down to a certain amount. I really like the fact that I can kind of go in between with this system. So, but I guess that's enough rambling for now. I will get you guys kind of through the parts and pieces and show you what I have, and then maybe it's helpful to you. If not, that's all right too. I hope everyone's doing well and enjoying it. Getting close to Halloween already, so time for those pumpkin beers and the stouts and dark beers and that type of stuff. So I gotta get back to brewing here. I haven't brewed since Labor Day, so need to get some stuff done and get some things in the pipeline and get things going. So again, hopefully this is helpful. If it's not, I hope you guys are all having a great one. And as usual, if you see anything in here where you think that would be a good idea to change up or help me with my process, throw it in the comments. I really do appreciate it. So hope you guys are all doing well. Let's launch it.
All right, so I thought I'd start with the brains of the system and kind of work from there. So this is the Blickman Tower of Power. Now it's an old system. Again, this is secondhand. I bought this from Bradley at Portly Gentleman. If you haven't checked out his channel, lots of cool information there, lots of cool gear that he has, but he actually had this. I think he bought it secondhand as well, decided it wasn't going to work for what he wanted. But the new system, if you're interested in going into it, is called the Brew Commander. It will work with natural gas, propane, as well as electric, 120 or 240, so depending on what you're looking to go for. I believe it's a $399 is the price point on that system, so depending on what you want to get into. Not coming with the Brew Commander would be this valve system. This is the old system. Again, you probably could find this stuff secondhand maybe. I bought it from Bradley for $200 and then $100 for shipping because it came from California. And then I replaced, it was I believe it was like a chugger pump at the bottom. I replaced it with the Blickman Riptide. Highly recommend it. Really nice. You can control the flow with that handle right there. It moves in and out and changes the flow. So if you had a flow meter, you could tell exactly where you're at. But in terms of what you would actually need, if you were decided to go with this, I would say have a pump of your choice. I would suggest the Riptide. I think they're great pumps. I'm really happy with them. Lots of people that I know are real happy with them. But if you've got something that works for you and you already have it, then why spend the money if you don't have to? So a pump, a brains of the system to run it, to keep it going where you want it to be. So you want to try to automate your system, something along those lines with that. So that would be the brains of the system as it go through. All right, and then kind of moving from the top down. So this is my original kettle. When I first got into brewing, this was the kettle I went with, 10 gallons. Should have gone with a bigger kettle, but this is what I went with. It's a 10-gallon kettle. I put the weldless port in it. So there's videos out there. Lots of people show you how to put that weldless port on there. The cams, I'll show you that. It was an update when I went to the pump. But that is a 10-gallon aluminum stock pot, basically. So lots of different places out there you can find those. Again, if you probably are in brewing, you probably have something like this already, so you probably don't have to worry about purchasing that. The screen, I use this for two different things. One, obviously, for mashing. This is where the claw hammer design comes into play. This is actually a screen that's made for cold brewing of coffee, but it works perfect for what I need. I think I've gone 15, 16 gallons or 16 pounds of grains in there, something along those lines. So you can pack it pretty full. Got a nice handle on it, obviously. Nice hook there on the side. It's got feet, so it will drain from the bottom as well as from the sides. And then this is a top that you can just get for stock pots online. Any restaurant supply typically have these. What I did was I took the top and just took a step bit, opened it up. This is actually a sprayer for a power sprayer. You could do a clean in place CIP ball. Lots of different ways to do this. If you want to go with plastic, there's different plastics out there for sparging. So depending on what you want to do, I just wanted to stick with metal and make it easier in terms of temperatures that would come out, and it basically sprays out and just kind of diffuses the wort as it comes back through the top. So I did put a cam lock fitting on top of that, so it just fits down through. So I don't know if you can see, but there's threads there that come up through. That is the threaded end. So it's a male piece that comes through the top, and then a female cam lock that goes on top of that. All right, next one, another stock pot, same material, still aluminum. I did not go stainless. It was too much money for me at this point. My next system, when I upgrade, whenever that is, I don't have any plans of doing it now. I'll probably go to stainless steel at that point, but I do not have any plans of doing that anytime soon. So far, I have had no problems with aluminum. So this is a 15-gallon kettle. Again, as I said, this is basically just a simple grate. You can get these any place. I actually happen to have this out of a microwave we were getting rid of, I believe, or a small oven. I can't even remember, but it was left around, so I use that, and that holds the weight of the mash tun on top. The kettle itself is secondhand. I bought this off of a friend of mine, Dave at Big Dog Brewing, another brew tuber. This was his original kettle. He upgraded to the anvil and didn't have the need for this, so I bought this secondhand off of him. Nice thing that he did is he did all of the markings on the side. So you can see we go all the way up to 15 gallons on the side. Really helpful to have that so you know what you're doing in terms of strike water, how much work goes in, those types of things. So if you're big into efficiencies, I'm not really that big into it. I don't mind tracking it, but it's not a huge part of my brewing day. But if you are, really helpful to have those on top of it. So you have an idea of where you're at, boil offs, all those types of things. So that is the kettle itself. Again, another weldless port. Dave, I believe, put this on himself. Again, the cam lock fitting is something I put on there. All right, so if you're gonna get into pumps, obviously you're gonna need hoses. Your choice on what you would like to do, whether you like quick disconnect or you wanna go with cam locks. I chose to go with cam locks. I think it's a personal choice on what you like to do. I've talked to people that don't like cam locks because it takes two hands, and the quick disconnect, so you can just take your hand and pull back and be able to quick disconnect. I've felt like the cam locks, I got a more secure fit, but again, that's completely personal. All of this came from Bobby at Brewing Hardware in New Jersey. Great folks to work with, awesome. I actually had a order in. I bought the Riptide pump from him, and then they also sell tubing as well as all the parts and pieces you'll need for the cam locks, all in a kit that came together. So I bought that all from him. So I will put the link in that down below. You can see this is a newer piece of tubing that I bought from him when I went and upgraded to the second kettle. I did not have that originally, so that was been an upgrade as it goes through. But very, very happy with them. Been awesome to go through. Here somewhere down the road, I probably will just change the tubing out. It's getting to that point that it probably needs to be changed, but I clean them. They just get discolored, obviously, as you go through the brewing process. So I don't think there's an issue with it. They're the high temperature tubes, but probably could get in close to time to swap those out. And came obviously with clamps, and just simple to be able to take those off, cut those, and then replace it so you can put new tubing on it. So I would highly suggest you, whether your choice of cam or quick disconnects, but something to do with the high temperature tubing to go with that. And obviously you're going to need something to be able to heat everything up with. So this is the Bayou Classic. Let's see if I can get you info on the back. This is made for propane, and then I changed, let's see if I can get you a shot of it. I changed the orifice. So the orifice is what allows how much propane for natural gas into that. So I have natural gas that comes down from here, and then I just have my flexible line. So the orifice goes right into the back here. With the Blickman Brew Commander or the Tower of Power, this has a automatic on system. So this will cycle it and actually turn it on. So all I need to do is turn the gas on and then set this system, and it will actually turn this on. So it has a strike, just like you'd have on your cooker, probably out in your backyard. If you have a propane cooker, then you have that push button to start. It's the same system. So that is how that works with that. And then you have the electric coming in from the back. So you have a little gate there. It shuts the gas off at the system and then turns it on depending on what the temperature calls for. So if it needs to be heated up, it'll do that. You can see the electric pieces coming out through. So you have a grounding wire, and then you have your spark system there with the orange wire comes through. So that's all off the back side of this. Again, depending on what you choose to go with, whether you're natural gas, propane, or electric, that will dictate what you need with this. Again, you probably have something similar to this if you're into brewing. If you're looking to make the move to electric, I would highly suggest that you go with the 240. Most people I've talked to that are in the electric had wished they had upped the cost and gone to the 240 right off the bat. It takes a long time to heat up, especially to boil temps. If you are going with the 120 natural gas, I don't have any problems with that. It's awesome having natural gas out here. So it's been a lifesaver for me. But I could go to electric if I wanted to. I have a panel out here and I can do that. But I have the natural gas. It's available to me. Middle of winter, it keeps this place nice and warm in here, so that's helpful. A little hot in the summer, but I'll take it, and I'm not changing. Down below that, obviously just a plastic catcher, just to kind of keep things cleaned up. And then this is actually the reason I have natural gas, is this was a base that was built for my pool heater. Unfortunately, that crapped the bed and started leaking, so I got rid of it. So I replumbed the pool away from the heater, and this was the base that they used. So that you might be able to do something like this on your own. It is just PVC, simple 90s with it, a couple of T's. I'll give you another shot from the other side. So it's a pretty slick base that they have set up, and then it's just a cementitious type of board that has styrofoam on the inside. So it's been pretty handy for me having things elevated, be able to get your fermenters and those types of things underneath it and be able to bring it up so you're not working off the ground. So I've been very happy with that. Again, that is, I can't remember how many BTU that is, but that's a pretty popular burner, and it comes with the stand there obviously all together, so pretty heavy duty. But when you're working with that many gallons, you want to have something that's going to be pretty sturdy and pretty steady with that as it goes along. So, and then the last piece that I have, this is the Cuss Brewing 1.2 tricoil. This is, I just put a review out probably in the last week, 10 days on this. Been very happy with this. Looks a lot like Jaded Brewing's. From what I understand, the people that own Jaded and Cuss were together in Jaded Brewing, and I believe there was a split and patents were passed between the two folks that own it, so that's why they look very similar to that. I decided to go with Cuss. Doesn't make any difference to me in terms of who's. It was cheaper, and I liked it, so it worked for me. But this is the last piece of my system in terms of chilling, and then getting it into the fermenter after that. And then I do ferment into kegs, so I have a video on that. If you look back through my stream, you can see what I do. I'm probably going to update that because there's been some things that I've decided to change, but so that's kind of takes you from mash in to boil to chilling to the very end of all the parts and pieces that I have with my system. So what I will try to do is put links to all this stuff down below, at least to what I have the ability to. Just give you a quick overview again, and then maybe what I'll do is put the whole parts and pieces together so you can kind of see it as one final piece, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I kind of put everything together so you can see. I kind of stacked it out so you can see everything. So again, you've got your screen at the top. Again, that's a cold brew coffee screen. If you put that into any Amazon search or on Google, Kedco's got them. Walmart is where I got it, but I don't find it on their website anymore. And then the top is just that simple stock pot top. Goes with then the 10-gallon kettle. I have the port that will recirculate back around and then out into the boil kettle down below. And I have the grate, the 15-gallon kettle that circulates out the front, down through that line, up through the Riptide pump, back through my flow meter, back out, comes back out over the top, and then I've just got it hanging with a chain at the top right now that would hook into the top of that stock pot top, and then drain back over to the top of the grains, and then circulates back through again. So I can put up to 15 gallons in that, 10 gallons in that. So between the two of them, I can do a pretty good sized batch with this. Again, Blickman's Tower of Power. That is, I'm not sure if they're still making that. I know Brew Commander is supposed to be taking over for this, but you may still be able to find those. The Brew Commander's got a fully LED or LCD, whatever you want to call it, screen, touch screen. Definitely an upgrade. So if you're looking to get into that, that's definitely the way to go, I think, at this point. It does not come with a stand, so you'd have to have some type of base. That obviously came with the stand and everything that was together with that, and then the pump. Again, I bought the pump from Brew Hardware, Bobby from New Jersey. All of the tubing as well as the cams came from him as well. The Tower of Power came from Bradley at Portly Gentleman Secondhand. Bottom kettle was from Dave at Big Dog Brewing. The top kettle was my own. The screen again came from Walmart. Websterant, I think is how you say it, W-E-B, and then restaurant has a lot of the stock pots like this, the stock pot covers, those types of things, as well as it goes through that. And then the orifice for natural gas, and I'm trying to remember, I think it was just on Amazon I bought the Bayou Classic. I have to look that up. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was just Amazon though. So I will again create links for all the stuff down below. restaurant supply for your plastic bucket down at the bottom, those types of things, and then Cuss Brewing for the chiller. So I think that pretty much takes you through the entire system. Again, if you have any questions about any of it, where I got it, if I'm not saying this correctly, or if I'm not making sense as going through it, if you have any questions about how the system works, let me know. I'm more than willing to answer any questions I have. And as I said before, if you've got thoughts on how this could work better, if I could streamline the system, if you have thoughts on you're doing something similar and it works better for you, all for learning from other people. So again, if you got anything, I would love to hear it. So hope this is helpful to somebody. Just how I happen to do it, and probably over the course of the last 2 years, I've just been updating and changing and buying parts and pieces because I didn't have the cash to be able to do everything up front. So it's one of the problems with this hobby is you can always throw more money at it and you can always buy more gear. So love the hobby, but not the cheapest thing in the world to do. So again, hope anybody has any questions, let me know. If not, hope this is helpful. So hope you guys all have a great one. Sláinte.